we will turn it over to Diana. We're getting a little feedback for our friends in the sound room. All right, work through it. Diana Mungu, Laverna Mara, Dr. Noreen Bellaria, did I say that correctly? Hey. And Scarlett Pons. And ladies, take it away. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathleen. And thank you everyone for being here this morning to join us for our Women in E-commerce panel, where I will be having a great conversation with three amazing entrepreneurs that are local here to the Virginia area. For starters, my name is Diana Mungu, and I am a program manager in seller external relations at Amazon. I have the pleasure of working with various nonprofit organizations to support small businesses nationwide and provide them education to learn about how they can sell their products and services in Amazon store. So for today's conversation, we're going to dive into the entrepreneurial journey of three amazing entrepreneurs. And just to give a little bit of a stats behind Amazon and why shopping in Amazon store is really important. This year actually marks an incredible milestone for Amazon and our small businesses, as it marks the 25th anniversary of Amazon inviting small businesses to sell in our store. And over the course of the last 25 years, small businesses have contributed to more than $2.5 trillion in sales. And last year alone, small businesses employed more than 2 million jobs here in the US. So let's just give a quick round of applause to that. Now, for the state of Virginia, last year in 2024, small businesses averaged about $195,000 in annual sales and produced or sold more than 65 million goods. So today's conversation is really insightful to see what these entrepreneurs are doing here in their communities, as well as nationwide, to provide products and services that are of value to their communities and various consumer preferences. So to get started here, I just want to ask a couple of questions to our panelists, just kind of an open conversation. Starting with you, Dr. Noreen, what inspired you to start your business? And what local resources or community support have you been able to leverage to help scale that business?
So much. I'm excited to be here. So my name is Noreen Valeria, and I'm a pathologist, and I'm the founder of a hair and skin supplement company, Integral Vitamins. And I think probably my inspiration was I was actually a professor at the University of Utah maybe 15 or 20 years ago. And a lot of people don't realize, but Utah is actually the place that has the highest rate of skin cancer in all. And so I had these patients coming in and they were like, Dr. Valeria, I'm putting my sunscreen on, I'm wearing my hat, and I'm just on getting skin cancer, and I need something else that I can do. And so, and nobody was looking to add more medicine, right? So they were looking for like a natural or an herbal way that they could actually prevent or decrease their risk. And so we started researching this fern that works like an internal sunscreen. And eventually that, and then I also had a hair practice at the time where I was focusing on a lot of hair loss. Those two things resulted in two different supplements, an internal sunscreen and a hair vitamin that I always say I didn't actually set out to create a supplement. I was just trying to help my patients. But when I began, I realized there was actually no regulation in the supplement industry. And so I was like, I'm going to put out something that is studied like this, so that my patients can really know that they're getting a good product. And I think because of that, the people I really leveraged early on were my patients. So that was my focus group. I was listening to them. They were the ones who were trying the products. They were the ones giving feedback. And so I would say that for me, my community was very broad because it was, I think over the years here in Virginia, we've probably seen 200,000 patients. And so the ones who were interested, I was leveraging.
Yeah, no, that's awesome for you to leverage the insights from your patients and your consumers, because taking that feedback is really important in innovation. So,
and they represent such a broad part of the population that taking their feedback, which is very honest, because I'm their doctor, I think, I was able to then leverage it on platform.
Awesome. And then I do have a QR code here that's going to take you to the Integral Vitamins brand store. So definitely feel free to scan that and to learn more about Integral Vitamins. Awesome. So same question to you, Laverne. What inspired you to create your business, and how have you been able to leverage community resources to help grow and scale your brand?
Thank you so much for the question. Good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here. My name is Laverne Amara, founder of NBLX Labs. We are an Eco-Lux hair care line dedicated to the lock community. So most people know what locks are, but just think Bob Marley hair, but a little bit more manicured. And they're within the natural hair community, but they're very much underrepresented. And so I started my brand about 2 years ago. And the reason why is because I've been a loctician for over 10 years, working with clients. I'm also a trichology analyst. And so with working with clients, several hundred women over the years, I noticed a lot of the same problems coming up. So irritation on their scalp, dryness within their scalp, unraveling of their hair when it's trying to lock, buildup within the locks. And so the beauty industry does not necessarily cater to locked hair. It's not as mainstream. And so I figured, hey, there's a need here, so we can fill this gap. And so what I did was found a chemist, developed my own proprietary blends, and we've been rolling since then. As far as resources within the community, I have a SCORE mentor. I'm not sure how many of you know about SCORE, but she's been extremely helpful. I'm also a member of Entreprenista. I don't know if any of you know about this is a phenomenal community. I literally met one of my mentors that helped me to grow on Amazon on Entreprenista. She's a multi-million-dollar Amazon small business owner, and she has a consulting company called Detox that helps me with the back end of my brand. So it's been an amazing journey, and I'm just excited to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've worked with several small businesses selling in the store, and that's kind of a common thread that they have, is that leveraging community organizations, entrepreneur incubators has been super helpful in helping them scale and grow, as well as finding mentors. So that's awesome that you've been able to experience that in your journey. Scarlett, same question to you. So what has inspired you to create Scarlett Wares, and what local community resources have you been able to leverage to help build your business?
Yes, hello everybody. It's exciting to be at my very first all women's conference. It's such a different energy than other conferences I've been at. So this is awesome. So I'm Scarlett Pons. I own Scarlett Wares, and what I do is I'm a potter. I design in clay. I have both a handmade line and then I have a manufactured line of pottery, and that's what I sell on Amazon. We also have a storefront that's in downtown Fredericksburg called Pawn Shop. That's a play on words. Pons is my last name. Yes, people come into the store with their gaming systems on them, but we are an all creative store. We represent about 20 other artists. And through the store, it's great. I get to meet a lot of people. I sell most of my handmade stuff in that store. And over the years, different customers have come to me to ask me to solve different kitchen solutions for them. And it was probably maybe 15 years ago, somebody asked me if I could make them a sponge holder. I didn't really know what that was. It's pretty common in the pottery world. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take this challenge. So I started designing these different items. My background is in architecture. I did work as an architect professionally for 8 years after 6 years of school. So my passion is design. I left the architectural world because I really wanted to work more closely with just people in solving smaller problems than designing whole buildings. And that designing of the 3 different sponge holders that I have, which 2 of those designs are unique to me, to my company, they took off. It was the one item that actually sold when I had an Etsy storefront. I was on Etsy for years. Nothing sold until I launched these design of sponge holders, and they started taking off. I quickly realized that I am not a manufacturer. I did only make sponge holders for about 2 years, and I realized that I was going to lose my mind if that was the only thing that I was going to make. And that launched me on my Amazon journey. I found a great company in Maryland. It's a multi-generational company, I think fourth generation, that helped me manufacture my items. My items are manufactured in China. This Maryland, China has a personal connection with 40 different manufacturers all throughout Asia. They found me the right partners. They found me the quality I was looking for. And the biggest lesson I learned when I started looking into manufacturing was like, wow, you have to order a lot. I can't just order 100 units. I can't just order 500 units. And I was looking for a bigger platform. I knew my storefront couldn't handle that kind of volume, and I started researching Amazon, and it was a lot of YouTube videos, and but luckily what I had was I had my local community that told me this was a good product. I had my Etsy community that told me this was a good product. So when I went on Amazon, I felt fairly confident that I could make this work. And that freed up. Once I did that, I was able to get back to designing other items again and not just making sketchbooks.
Yeah, Scarlett, you brought up some really great points about manufacturing and distribution, which I'm definitely going to talk on a little later in this conversation. So thank you. My next question is centered around raising capital and funding. So as we know, historically, female founders have received less than 2% of venture capital. And so being a woman entrepreneur, what have been some of your challenges with being able to get capital, and how are you currently funding your business? Laverne, let's start with you.
Okay, thanks for the question. Initially, I started out of my savings, so that was a little bit tough, but I was thankful to be able to have that to leverage, and then started applying for a lot of grants. Very time consuming, but the more that you do it, the better you get at it, and I've actually been pretty successful to have won a couple of grants that have been very helpful.
Yeah, round of applause for that. Congratulations.
To my brand. And so with that, I've been able to buy my initial quantities. And as you mentioned, a lot of times the minimum order quantities are really, really high because a lot of the manufacturers are used to dealing with, these big brands that can order 100,000 units. So I was able to launch my first shampoo with some of the funds that I got from one of the grants that I won, and that allowed me to reinvest into the company, do more marketing, kind of grow on social media, and that's kind of propelled me forward to be able to finish the development of my conditioner, which is soon to come, and just keep moving forward there. But that's kind of how I got started.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm sorry if I missed this. Where are you currently manufacturing?
Florida.
Awesome. Thank you. Noreen, same question to you. How have you been able to fund your business, and what strategies have helped you scale with manufacturing and distribution?
So we tapped into our savings, and I talked to my husband, who was like, oh my God, this better work. Because there goes our entire retirement plan.
Right.
So, really we have only used our own funds, and I recognize that as a dermatologist, I have the privilege of having a little more in my retirement than maybe other small businesses would. And so one thing that we committed to very early on was that I thought, if I can do this and I can launch it, we will donate 10% of every bottle we sell to help other people who are trying to do the same thing. So the first month I was very excited, and we donated 50% of everything we made to help women. And it was a lot of things that were like, Black Girls Who Code and Dress for Success. And really, I realized that sometimes people don't have the same opportunities. And I really wanted to, you can't level the playing field, but at least try a little bit to, bring it up a bit.
Do what you can. Yeah.
And then since that time, we've been 10%, and that has been something that I value actually greatly. And I think it gives the, this is a passion project for me. I could frankly probably work as a dermatologist and make a lot more than I make in Interglow vitamins at this point in time. But I love this. I believe in it. And I just want other people to have a product to be able to see success.
Yeah, No, that's awesome. Thank you for all that you're doing. And Scarlett, that same question for you. How are you funding your business? What challenges have you had with raising capital? And then also you talked about manufacturing and distribution. So how has that made you decide your approach to how you manufacture and distribute?
Sure. So also savings account. So the conversation I had with my husband is, are we going to be okay to lose this amount of money? So we didn't drain the account. It was just enough to launch 3 products, and I thought it was an important mindset to say, okay, if this doesn't work, it's going to be okay. So it was finding a level of risk that we were both comfortable with, and we self-funded for the first 3 products and just kept reinvesting all of that money back into the company. And then eventually we have a good relationship with one of our local banks, and now do loans, different inventory loans through a good relationship that we have with our local bank. If there's one lesson I'd like to share with, if anybody's new into this, I wish I would have continued more aggressively to take the money the company was making, continue investing. Sometimes you get a little like comfortable and you're like, oh, now I'm going to take that money and do something fun. So a little bit more discipline would have been good at the beginning. We're getting more back to that now, especially as you see different interest rates kind of go up and all over the place. And what was the second part of the question?
Sorry, the second part of the question was, how have those strategies helped you scale or find an approach to manufacturing and distribution? So you talked about the relationship that you were able to formulate with the bank. How has that helped you scale?
Yeah, so that's been one of the most important relationships, because we had a relationship with our bank through our brick and mortar store for 8 years. They were able to see our track record, and we're a small business, we're a little mom and pop store, but because we had that kind of track record, it was very easy for us to get an inventory loan. So have whoever your bank is, if there's that one person, and it rotates probably every 4 or 5 years, but we always have one person that we have a really good relationship with that understands us as a small business, see what we're doing in the local community. And also the manufacturer that I use, because they are also a ceramic company, that that when I place these orders, there's just a level of care, not only and care and respect, that they understand that where I'm coming from too. So I'm never late on my payments or try to kick that can down the road or anything, but it's just nice to know that there's a good, healthy relationship there.
Absolutely. It's really important to have those right partners by your side as you're growing and scaling your business, and developing those deeper relationships with those bankers, those, co-manufacturers, etc.
Yes, because sometimes you don't know what difficult conversations are coming down the line. You have that good relationship, and you have to have some really difficult conversations, then that relationship's there to tackle that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for the intros and diving deep into how you were able to fund your business and scale. Now let's switch over to how you've been able to leverage various Amazon programs to grow and scale your business. So Scarlett, we'll start with you, and then I'll come to Noreen. Can you talk about, as an architect turned creative entrepreneur, how have you been able to transform your artistic vision into a sustainable business, and what specific programs in Amazon store have you been able to leverage?
So the programs that I use the most is FBA. So that's Amazon ships my items. When I first started, I started as seller fulfilled, which means I did all my own shipping. And the reason why I started as seller fulfilled is because I felt like I can only learn so much at one time. So I was like, let me just figure out how to take all my photos, get all my products listed on Amazon. Let's try to understand that one bit before I try to figure out the second aspect of FBA. But the good thing about that is I learned, I was set up on that platform to ship my own items. So when COVID happened and the whole world went into, we are only shipping necessary items. There was a term for it. It was only, essential items. My products, being kitchen items, were non-essential. And luckily, I always keep most of my inventory in a warehouse that I can access, I was able to switch back to seller fulfilled. That's one of the key things that saved my business, because I saw businesses who did not know how to seller fulfilled, who had all their inventory locked up in a warehouse that they couldn't access, and they lost 2 months of income.
Yeah.
So it was just one of those things that it was fortunate that it worked out. And reviews, I try to be active on getting customer reviews. That is make or break. And I always tell people, if the first time you go on a large platform like Amazon to sell your items, you're accessing a huge audience, you just brace yourself for the 1-star review. Brace your skills coming.
Yeah, no,
It's
absolutely.
okay.
Yes, and I think it's part of the business journey,
And it's
right? Yeah, I think you can glean a lot of insight from those customer reviews on ways that you can improve the
Yeah,
product. Or
I
just
learned so
overall,
much. Yeah.
customer experience. So, oftentimes you look at the 1-star review as negative, but it can also be a positive thing to help you improve in your business.
I always tell people it's the 3-star reviews you want to pay attention to.
No, that's awesome. No, thank you for sharing that. And then, Noreen, for you, as a practicing physician and business owner, how have you leveraged your medical expertise to develop your products? And then what programs have you been able to leverage in Amazon store to find success?
So Amazon ended up, I didn't realize this was going to be the case. Amazon ended up being really good. So we researched and third-party verified and, non-GMO, like we did everything to make this vitamin be, as perfect as it could be. But then how does anyone learn about it, right? It exists, but I'm a physician, I'm not a marketer. And so we basically put out on a dermatology page, hey, we've got this vitamin, this is the science. And hundreds of dermatologists reached out saying, hey, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for a safe hair vitamin that actually works. Send us the information. And the way we started was dermatologists started carrying it in their offices. But what we realized was nobody was going to go back to their dermatologist every month to go get another bottle if they liked it or they realized it worked. And Amazon was critical because we could then kind of roll out nationwide as a small business.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult as a small business to do that. And I didn't realize that this was going to be the case, but we do also fulfill by Amazon, and we send it to Amazon, and patients then can get it. They might go to a dermatologist every year, but they can be getting it monthly. And for us, 2 programs that are really very helpful are Subscribe and Save. That's great because very much like a medicine, you got to be getting this. And many times I know I'm the same. I'll be like, okay, now it's done. And now you've got a several day wait till you can get it back.
Yeah.
And the other thing, because we are in supplements, which is, not regulated, is brand registries. So, if people don't know, are you really getting Interglow vitamins, or are you getting the knockoff version of Interglow vitamins, which can exist, right? And so to be able to say this is the actual brand store and you are getting the vitamin that this dermatologist and this plastic surgeon made has been really critical for us.
No, absolutely. And the both of you brought up really great programs to discuss, and I want to be sure to kind of elaborate more on those programs. So with Fulfillment by Amazon, again, Amazon's going to pick, pack, and ship your products to the customer. We're also going to manage your customer service and your returns. What many don't understand is that when you do leverage Amazon as your fulfillment partner, your products also qualify for the Prime badge. So we have over 200 million worldwide customers that leverage Amazon Prime subscriptions. And so that means they're getting their products within same day, 1 day, and 2 days. So I just want to quickly survey the audience. How many of you are Amazon Prime members? Can you raise your hand? Right. Oh, don't drop your thumb. So as you can see, a majority of the audience members here are Amazon Prime members, and it's because we value that fast and free shipping, right? And so as a small business, to be able to leverage that, to get their products to customers much quickly is really important, and a way for them to stand out in Amazon store. The other program that was mentioned just briefly here is Amazon Brand Registry. So if you're a brand owner that has your own federal trademark and you want to be able to further protect your intellectual property online, it's really important that you enroll in programs like Amazon Brand Registry, which is totally free for brand owners. With that, we're able to enforce any IP infringement that's occurring in the store. You're able to report any potential counterfeit products and things of that nature. So it's just kind of like that extra layer of protection as a business owner and an ease of, peace of mind that you're able to obtain when you're selling your products online. So thank you both for sharing that. Now, Laverne, to you, I do want to just quickly say thank you for your service. We have an incredible military. Are you a veteran now?
Not
Are you
yet.
still serving? Okay. We have a military service member here. Can you talk about how you've been able to leverage your military leadership to, your approach in business? Like, how have you been able to translate what you've learned in the military to now grow and scale your business? And what programs in Amazon store have you been able to leverage?
Okay. So I am an active duty service member. I've been serving for over 26 years and preparing to retire, and I'm really excited about that. So I am a project manager in the Army, responsible for tactical power. And project management is project management, right? And so I've been able to take those skills and really translate them into building my beauty brand. So I had to do the research and development. I had to do the market research. I dealt with contractors, obviously the manufacturing piece, and the testing of everything. So it's the same thing that I do in uniform, except instead of doing it for, generators and power assets, I'm doing it for my shampoo, right? And so that's been extremely helpful for me. And I'm thankful that I'm able to translate those skills into really what my passion project is. As far as what have I used within Amazon, I use FBA also, just like these ladies mentioned, obviously with the full-time job. It would be a lot of work for me to try to meet the timelines if I was having to ship all of my products out. So Amazon makes that easy for me. I also use the brand registry because I have trademark and copyright and all that stuff on my products. I use the A+ content brand story, which is awesome because it kind of lets you tell your story and it makes your brand more interesting and it'll draw more folks to your store and make them want to purchase. I used Vine, which is another asset. So when you're beginning on Amazon, it's kind of hard to get reviews, but you can give certain products and people will give reviews if you give them free products, right? So I was able to leverage that program initially to kind of get the momentum for some of the reviews that I needed. I also use Amazon Business to Business, not as much, but I want to get more involved in that. So instead of doing sales to individuals, I can do sales to other businesses and give them bulk products at a reduced price. So that's been really helpful. And the last one, PPC, so the ads, right? Pay-per-click, which has been huge for my business. So I think I grew 85% just by using PPC alone.
Wow,
So,
awesome.
I mean, you cannot beat that. And it kind of just gets you in the algorithm. And then once you get that momentum, you'll continue to grow. So those are some of the programs that I use.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Round of applause.
Diana, can I mention one more?
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually forgot to mention my favorite one.
No, you're totally fine.
Which is like the small business badge. I don't know how long that's been around, but I like to tell customers, like, you can shop small business on Amazon. If you look, you see like the product title, then you see the company name, and then there'll be like a little house, like little building icon, and that's a small business icon, and that's a great way to know that you're supporting like a small business on that platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we introduced the small business badge maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. And so with the small business badge, it's for US-based businesses that do have that small business certification, which you can obtain through the SBA, SAM.gov, Supplier Gateway, and then I think it's the National Minority Supplier, NMSDC, great acronym. And so, yeah, there's different organizations that you can work with to be able to obtain that certification. And when you upload that into your Amazon account, that's our way of being able to identify your business as a small business. And then you're able to receive that badge. That way, if there's customers out there that want to intentionally purchase from a small business, they can do so. The other fun fact that I do want to share is that more than 60% of sales in Amazon stores actually come from small businesses. So small businesses provide unique selection, which is not a core competency for Amazon. So we're able to highlight small businesses and the unique products that they're able to offer to customers because of that reason. So small businesses have a lot of value in Amazon's store. Moving into, competitive categories and how you're able to differentiate. Noreen, let's begin with you. You're in a health and wellness space. As you mentioned, supplements are not, there's not a lot of regulation when it comes to supplements. How do you differentiate your particular product from other mainstream products or other small brands?
So I do think that Amazon, does a good job with this because there is a lot of trust and transparency that we can demonstrate on Amazon. So I really like the fact that I can, you guys give us the opportunity to put in we are made in the USA, non-GMO, we're third-party verified. I think that consumers we're looking for supplements. It's not like buying a cream. I think if I launched a cream, you'll try anything once. It's unlikely to do anything bad, at most you'll get a little rash, but you really need to know what's in your body. And so I think that the ability for me to be able to do that and then register my brand, it's really important.
No, that's awesome. Thank you. And Laverne, same question to you. How are you able to differentiate in the hair care industry with your particular product?
Well, my brand is clean, which can mean different things to different people, but we have a really strong and stringent quality standards. We also give back extensively. So monthly, we give back to a number of charities and 501c. So we have a focus on sustainability. So we give back to One Tree Planted. We give back to perinatal health equity, which deals with Black maternal health. We give back to Under the Same Sun, which is a program that deals with albinism in East Africa. So not only are we clean, eco-friendly, as far as all of our packaging is either compostable or made from recycled products or can be recyclable. We also have that focus on making sure that we're always having our customers have that connection to the community, and they know, hey, we can buy this, products from anybody, but when we're buying from NBLX Labs, it's more than just hair care. So that's how we differentiate ourselves.
And so you're able to communicate those brand values to your customers through your product packaging, and also, do you have the sustainability badging, or how do you communicate that to the customer?
Well, recently, we had the hurricanes in Jamaica, right?
Right.
And so I'll do on my social media, hey, if you guys make a purchase on, from Thursday to Friday, all proceeds will go to Jamaican Red Cross.
Got it.
So I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I'll post the different resources that they have helped to fund based on the money that we monthly give to a lot of these organizations. And we're cruelty free, so I have all that branding and stuff.
That's awesome.
About us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Scarlett, same question to you. You're in a different space than these two ladies here. Would you be considered home goods?
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you differentiating Scarlett wares from other home good products?
So for me, it's design, and design. So before that in-between phase, when I was hand making and then thinking about taking it to the next level, one of the first things, and I do this with every product I design, even the handmade stuff that I do, is the first thing I do is I go online and I try to find as many of that item as possible. How are other companies designing this? How are other people designing this? And this was back in 2017. What I noticed that a lot of these little things that you use in your house, in your kitchen, they're such poor designs, and they're so cheap. It's you spend money on this stuff just to have it rust in your sink. You spend money on this thing to suction cup to your sink, and it just falls into your sink. You spend money on the plastic stuff, and it just ends up getting moldy. And so I wanted to make sure that my product was just, it was well designed. It was gonna work. And as long as you don't break it, it should last you your lifetime.
Yeah.
And that it could also just be really convenient to use. Like, it's dishwasher safe. Even though it's not a food product, I wanted it to be food safe. A lot of times if you buy ceramic products, they don't say they're food safe. There could be lead in that. There could be heavy metals in the glazes. So I wanted to establish a level of quality. And just like with the packaging, I made a big effort to make sure that when my products are shipped, there's no styrofoam in the products, that everything's cardboard based so that it can be recycled. And then actually it was just, this is the first year that I've launched designed boxes that my items come in. So again, just kind of like, so you have that experience of opening up. I think in your industry, that's just a standard.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of that idea from the health world industry, the product industry. Like, oh yeah, this is how you set yourself apart. And
Absolutely.
it's, Amazon's big, so you see that. I've seen that my category really expand over the years. So
Yeah, that's awesome to lead with high brand quality.
High
Because
brand.
I think, as you mentioned, several people probably experienced the rusting of their product, and it's not dishwasher safe. It's not as filled with toxic chemicals, even though it's not a food product. Still, right? It's something that might be holding food, and so I think it's really important to lead with high brand quality first, and then again, listening to your consumers to figure out ways that you can innovate. So thank you for sharing that. And then, in the last minute that we have here before I do open it up to Q&A, Scarlett, you hinted at this early on about, based on your experience, what's like one key piece of advice you'd have for women entrepreneurs? What's another piece of advice that you'd want to share with women that are interested in jumping into entrepreneurship?
yeah, I would say test, and test, and listen to your customers. Try to get whatever you're working on in front of as many people as possible, and keep an open ear. I want to say every product, so I have 6 products on Amazon. All 6 of those products came from a conversation I had with a customer. And so it was some small problem they were trying to solve, and I listened and came up with a solution. And anytime I listen, it's always the right answer. And passion is how I feel like the 3 of us got here. It's following our passion, but your passion isn't always the right idea. And I have one of those products that I led with passion, and it's my worst selling product. And I didn't listen. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
I didn't follow the numbers. I didn't quite listen to my customers. But, that's how you learn. The only time I've ever learned anything in this line of business is when I make a mistake. And it's hard. It's a little crushing sometimes, but the only way that I've ever improved is from making a mistake with something and then really learning from that. And that has gotten me to the next,
Absolutely.
whatever that next step is.
Thank you for sharing that piece of advice. And Laverne, same question to you. What piece of advice do you have for women that are interested in entrepreneurship?
I would say just start. Don't be afraid. The conditions are never going to be perfect. The time is now. And so find a mentor. And this is going to sound really funny, but ideally probably somebody that's not in the field that you're in, because they'll be more apt to share with you, because they won't view you as competition.
Yeah.
But yeah, just start. You're going to make mistakes. All the answers you're not going to find in a book. Sometimes you just have to go do things, right? But as long as you put one foot in front of the other, what they say about eating the elephant one bite at a time. So that's all you have to do.
Awesome. Thank you. And then, Dr. Noreen, for you, what piece of advice do you have for women that are trying to explore entrepreneurship?
I really do agree with just start. I think I spent at least half a decade or more just waiting for someone else to make this bike. I was like, why does this not exist? Why does this not exist? And I was like, why can't someone make this? And I was like, well, why can't I make it?
Yeah.
And the one thing I will say is, when you are making something, don't try to fit what we think is the business. As women, I think we really feel like, okay, I better look like this, act like this, behave like this if I'm going to launch a business. Respect your brand voice and respect your story. I really think that it speaks volumes, like where you came from, why you started. And because this is a women's conference, I will say that I meet so many women that I mentor that are just scared of letting their own voice and their story out. And that actually gives you so much value.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for joining me for today's panel. I do want to open it up to Q&A, so I know we have a microphone back there, or if you want to amplify your voice, feel free to ask your question. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yes. Yeah.
A necklace.
Right.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yes. No, I totally get your question. Listen, I look at my Instagram feed all the time, like all these great opportunities to build a business. What I will say is that Amazon has a plethora of programs for things like that. So what you had mentioned about other individuals promoting other products and making money, we've got the Amazon Influencer Program and the Amazon Associates Program where you can earn commissions. That's what they call affiliate marketing, right? So you're promoting other branded products and you're earning a commission anywhere from 8 to 12% per product sold, right? And then we have Amazon Delivery Service Partner. So if you're looking into getting into transportation, that's also one great avenue. If you're not able to afford a 53-foot trailer truck or semi truck, you could start off with a box truck that you can lease through Amazon to be able to build your own business, right? You can sell products in the store. If you are interested in authoring your own book, we've got Kindle Direct Publishing where you can self-publish your own book, right? And so there's different avenues that are made available for all different types of businesses when you are an Amazon store. And I would certainly encourage you to check out those different programs because, like you've stated, not everyone's going to have the same background or the same type of capital or level of capital to start their own brand from scratch. But there are certainly other avenues to create your own income. So, Thank you for that question. I've got a lady back here in the yellow to ask a question, and then I'll get to you two ladies. In the back, please. Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll hurry up. But what happened was, to what you're saying, Dr. Noreen, doing orthopedic on the hospital floor, doing therapy, 18 years ago, I had another product. And I kept saying, what? This hasn't been made yet? Same thing you said. So I let that go for a minute. But when COVID hit, and I started my business in January of 2020, Medwell Dynamics, and COVID hit March. And so the problem I was running into is my patients with COPD and other issues, and of course the long-term effects of COVID-19.
Yep.
They were non-compliant. So then I'll say the good Lord gave me an idea to come out with Oxyclips nasal cannula retainer. There's nothing like it. It's one of a kind. Again, it's patented and trademarked.
Yeah.
You know the only thing on the market, Doc, is the cushion foam for the ears. But what Oxyclips does is it reroutes the nasal cannula away from the ears.
Yeah.
Because when there's skin breakdown, then there's other problems. So I got that done, but I had to put it on the back burner because I'm a frontline worker. So I'm starting to get my momentum. To speak to Etsy. I started on Etsy for 2 years. It took Amazon, and I love you guys. Amazon is amazing. I just really came on board the end of August. Yeah.
This year?
Yes.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you. It's a lot of work to get it done.
So I was gonna say, what is the question that you have?
Well, I want to talk about business to business. I just wanted to tell you guys that you guys have really, 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 everything you've said is the God honest truth. You guys have inspired me because I made in 10 weeks with you guys that it took me to make in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
With Etsy. So I'm really saying it's, everything they're saying, you talked about the per click, everything that you have said is the truth. I am open to that. So I get it every point of view.
Yeah.
And for the business to business, because y'all got a whole lot of stuff on Amazon. I finally got a coach.
That's good.
Yeah, because it's a lot. But even with the campaign and stuff like that. So I probably need to talk to you because I'm not going to get everything.
Yeah, we could definitely do it offline, but
I just wanted to say congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
As inventors, it's not an easy task, but I'm telling you, everybody in here, you have to have that drive. Doesn't matter what it looks like. You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you for
if
sharing
you
that
don't do it, somebody else will.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. I'm sorry, we are at time, so I'm going to bring Kathleen back up, but I'll take questions offline for sure. Thank you, Kathleen.
Really good.
There you go. Thank you all so much.
We're close. We're all close to each other,
Thank you. Yeah, we'll do a group photo. Absolutely. It's, come down this way? Yeah. Okay. Grab ours. Yeah, we're gonna come down and do it.